And so when we don't embrace the seasons, we want to be in a different season. And so we can fake fruits. And what it looks like is inauthentic. And for so many of us as Christians or as leaders of churches, we want our churches to be in a perpetual spring or summer. We want things to be looking like they're growing and expanding all the time. But it's just, that is not healthy. We can't, it's not how life functions. And God says to everything, there is a season. And part of our health is embracing winter seasons as individuals in our world, going through winter seasons. These days, everything must be nice and must be happy. And we want the nice and the happy. But if we will embrace the concept of seasons, that we can embrace the hard times, the winters, the difficulties, the times of letting go, and the freedom that brings, the winters of peace and stillness. And I remember with my children, as homeschooling family, one of the things we did was read through books. We read a lot of books together. The Little House on the Prairie books, and the picture of the family. They would have winter with snow, just deep, deep snow outside, where they could do nothing but be in their homes and working with their hands, making embroidery or crocheting or doing stuff with wood, etc. But it was winter was a time of hiding and hibernation almost, and it was part of that. And those were the most precious, some of the most precious times, but the most difficult times. And so for many of us, we want to be in a different season. Maybe you are a single person and you're in a season of singleness, but you're longing to be in a season of being married. And so you push and you have a whole lot of relationships, but it just results in pain and discontent. And can bring burnout. And the Bible speaks in many places, God calls us to be contented, to be at peace and contented with where He's made us. He's got us to be. And in many of our seasons, if we only see the loss, we can't see the seeds being planted. We can't see the seeds being planted. And if we are in that autumn place or winter place, those are the places where the seeds need to be sown. And Proverbs 20 verse 4 speaks and says, sluggards do not plow in season. So at harvest time, when it is summer, they look, but they find nothing. Because they didn't embrace the season. They didn't do anything there. They didn't plant. And sluggards are lazy people. And part of this is that sometimes we are lazy when we don't do the work of embracing and examining how we feel about where we're at. And working through the emotions and looking at those seasons, saying, I'm grateful for the season that I'm in. When we don't embrace the seasons, we don't end seasons well. And the reality is that people change and relationships change. And God's will is also in the season changes. And it's something that my husband said recently, is that God's will is also in the season changes, and we need to embrace those, but it's hard. We don't want seasons to, we don't want the summer seasons to change. We want them to stay. We want to stay in that happy, that nice, sunny, golden place.